This is an incredible time to be on this planet. It's a time when a true revolution is happening. I think in many respects, we're at a time in history that rivals the agricultural revolution and the industrial revolution, and the time when we realized that the world was not flat and that the sun did not revolve around this planet, we revolved around the sun. At times like these, there are amazing, huge changes. And it's important for people to be prepared and to understand that that's coming. And I think we're at one of those times right now. Incredible experience for me. I learned so much from these indigenous people. And then I became an economic hitman. And the story of that and how that transformation happened is described in the books Confessions of an Economic Hitman and The Secret History of the American Empire. But suffice it to say that we economic hitmen have in the last few decades created the world's first truly global empire. And it's the first empire that's been created primarily without the military, through economics. We work many different ways, but perhaps the most common is that we will identify a third world country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, and then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. However, the money never goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our own corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, highways, industrial parks, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, as well as our own corporations, but do not help the majority of the people at all, because these people are too poor to buy electricity or have cars. They don't have the skills to get jobs in industrial parks. And yet the whole country, is left holding a huge debt. And it's such a huge debt they can't possibly repay it. So at some point, the economic hitmen go back and say, you owe us a lot of money, you can't repay your debts, so give us a pound of flesh. Sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world, like Iraq. And in that way, we've created this empire. On the few occasions when we economic hitmen fail, as I described in Secret History of the American Empire, what happened to me with Jaime Roldos, the president of Panama, and president of Ecuador, and Omar Torrijos, the president of Panama, I failed with both of these men. I was not able to corrupt them. In this corruption, incidentally, my job, everything I did was legal. It shouldn't be, but the forms of corruption we use are totally legal, so I wasn't doing illegal activities. When I failed to bring them around, to get them to accept these loans, to get them to put their countries into servitude, then I knew that standing right behind me were what we call the jackals. And these are people who overthrow governments or assassinate their leaders. And both Jaime Roldos of Ecuador and Omar Torrijos of Panama were assassinated by CIA-sponsored jackals because I failed to corrupt them.
And there you have it, right out of the Edomite's mouth, right? These are called economic hitmen, where the government would send these Edomites, like him and some other Edomites out there, that would kind of go into a poor country, and look at the structure of their country financially, and obviously they're the third world, and basically coerce them and persuade them through their forked tongue to take a loan from one of their world banks, and not even give them that loan, but give it to the rich Edomites that go out there for their corporations and build highways and different things, and then make that country hold a debt that they can't pay and enslave them with the US dollar. And then basically, like you said, give us a pound of flesh and make them do what they want to do. And if they can't get it done, if they can't enslave that country, then the CIA destroys their leader. And then he tries to justify, oh, it was legal. It was legal for you, but that's off. You force a country in slavery, and if not, you kill their leader, put somebody up that will take that debt. Man, and this is why these Edomites have to be eradicated off the face of the whole earth. Matter of fact, before I get this precept, and then you got Jake in the middle of the damn hood that wants him to be in our kingdom. Sick. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If it's not the so-called white man that sends agents into different countries to enslave them with the US dollar, and then that money doesn't even go to that country, it goes to the few rich Edomites that's building in that country and makes the country hold a debt that they can't pay forever. Who is it? Who's the wicked that has that built an empire without even lifting a damn gun? He just said it. He said the American empire, we have built an empire off of enslaving other poor countries with the US dollar. And that's why you can't trust an Edomite. That's why you can't just believe what an Edomite, because he will, next you know, you turn around, you enslaved, and all you did was talk to him for 5 minutes. You talked to him, now you have a pen in your hand. Now you're signing on some dotted line, and in 30 minutes later, you owe $30,000. This is Proverbs 26 and 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. Yeah, he'll speak, he'll talk to you, say things to you, but it's all deceitful. The Lord, he always lets us know through the Spirit who our enemies are, what their mannerisms are, their characteristics, what they do and how they do it, all throughout the scriptures. That's why we must read. Or you will never identify your enemy, and you think Todd and Emily are your best friends when they're trying to enslave you without you knowing. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin, man. They have worked ruin for hundreds of damn countries, man. Destroying governments. Like you said, instead of, he tried to get Panama and Ecuador to kind of be enslaved by America, and they wasn't going. So guess what? You had CIA-backed who? Jackals. CIA-backed jackals that got those 2 men up out the way. Because Panama, they're known for their canal. To get to South America, the CIA, they deal with drugs and bringing drugs into the country just so Jay can be affected by it and then wash their hands as if they're not doing it. But that Panama Canal is big for trade. Ecuador for some other resources, and he said they failed. So now Esau got them up out of there because they break covenants, man. Let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 6. This is who Esau is. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 6, and they're not going to be saved. They're not going to be saved. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 59. We're going to start at verse 58. Now, therefore, let us be friends with these men and make peace with them and with all their nation. This is what they're talking about, Israel, the Greeks, right? Let us be friends with them and let us make peace with all their nation and covenant with them. See, when Esau ever starts talking about a covenant, you're going to start sweating. Start looking around. Look for the nearest door. When Esau says something about a covenant, go to your car. Go home. Because something's going to happen after that. That it says in covenant with them that they shall live after their laws as they did before, for they are therefore displeased and have done all these things because we abolished their laws. So the king and princes were content, wherefore he sent unto them to make peace, and they accepted thereof. Also the king and the princes made an oath unto them, whereupon they went out of the stronghold. Oaths don't mean nothing to Esau. He says a lot of things. Now look what happened. Then the king entered into Mount Zion, but when he saw the strength of the place, he broke his oath that he had made and gave commandment to pull down the wall round about. See, and the Esau said that in the video. He said that our corporations, they see resources that our corporations covet after. When our Lord said, thou shalt not covet. Hey, as soon as he saw the strength of Mount Zion, as soon as he saw the beauty of our city, he broke his oath and gave commandment to pull it down. And afterward departed he on all haste and returned to Antioch, where he found Philip to be master of the city. So he fought against him and took the city by force. So Esau is like, he coveted after this. And he said, oh yeah, although I made a covenant with you, although we shook hands and I made an oath saying you can keep your laws and do what you need to do, he gave commandment to pull down the wall round about. Seeing some resources he wanted, coveted after them, man. So you gotta beware of this man. Let's go to Job chapter 15, Job chapter 21. The Lord got something big for Esau. Let's go to actually Micah, because they covet fields. Is Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. You think that's an easy thing to do? They plan this all night. They have an infrastructure of that third world country. They lay out a big map. They said, okay, this is the pinpoint. This is who we go to. This is who we get through. This is the words that we say unto them. We got to know a little bit about their culture. Act like we're into their culture. Act like we want to help them and, expand their culture around the world so everybody knows who they are. Make them stars. Same thing they tell Jake in the rap industry. Yeah, we're going to make your name a household name. You ever heard of Michael Jackson? Yeah. We're going to make you like that guy. Make you known all over the world. But they really don't care about you. They want what you got. So what? And they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man, his house, and even a man in his heritage. If that's not Esau, I don't know what it is. If that's not your so-called economic hitman that makes you hold a huge debt you can't repay, and that money doesn't even go to you, it goes to Esau's friends building in your land. They make you give up a pound of flesh. You heard the man. We make you vote with us at the UN. We make you send troops to our nation. You give us some oil. Yeah, give me some of that good oil that you got, buddy. Right? Or give us some of that land, and we want to put some of our bases there. This is what they do. This is what they do. You got to know who your enemies are. You got to wake the hell up. Amalek, East, all these nations, man. You got to wake the hell up. You keep the best thing you can do against these economic hitmen, the best things you can do against Esau's, your enemies, is put on fringes and confess the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's the worst thing you can do to them, and the best thing you can do for yourself, so you don't get trapped up in this world, man. It's Sirach 13 and 13. Observe. Oh man, this whole thing is good. Let's go to Sirach 13 and verse 6. Let's start at verse 3. The rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. Yeah, when the rich man's wrong, he starts to threaten you. You heard him. He said, when I can't corrupt them legally, I don't even know what that means. How can you corrupt somebody legally? He said, when I can't corrupt them legally, we got CIA-backed jackals, and we take them out. So guess what? When the rich man's wrong, he starts to threaten you by killing you. But when the poor is wronged, he got to entreat. He got to be at your courtesy. That's in the Bible. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. See that? If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, they will go to these countries. They will live in these countries for a little while. Study your country. And he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee. Yep, smile upon you. Make you dress in a 3-piece suit. Come to his tables, talk about everything he gonna do for you, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what once is that? See, that's what who is this talking about? Who's this rich man through the Spirit that says, what do you want for your country? What changes do you want? I think we can help if we give you some money. I think we can help if you take this loan and look you dead in your eyes. Take this loan. Just do it. Sign this contract. He is smiling upon you. He gonna do that little thing with his hand and put his hair behind his ear and start nodding up and down. Then cross his legs and fold up his hands and says, yeah, is that what you want for your country? You want that for your people? Okay, I think I can make that happen. Verse 7, and he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last, he will laugh thee to scorn afterwards. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. And guess what? When these economic hitmen go back to America, they will laugh at you. They're going to drink a bottle of champagne and say, we got that dum-dum. We got that knucklehead. Man, the Bible, that's why this is the greatest book ever known to man. Because who else is the Lord identifying? Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. If thou be invited of mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more he will invite thee. Yeah, that's what Esau would do. You don't want to take this loan? No, take this loan, please do it. We really, really, really want to help you. No, you don't understand. We're going to help you. And they're going to keep inviting you. They're going to keep inviting you. Verse 10, press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not afar off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk. Yeah, don't try to speak like him. Don't try to be like this man. And believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee, he will get out thy secrets. Yeah, you try to be equal to him in talk. Next to you start drinking his wine. He's going to smile upon you. He's going to put his left hand on your your right shoulder. He's going to squeeze it and say, man, how'd you do this? Come on. How'd you do this? And next your secrets start coming out. And now he got everything he need from you. Verse 12, but cruelly will he lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. And that's not always talking about a physical prison. When you're in debt, you're in prison. There's nothing you can do. When you're in debt and you got to pay back a huge debt and you're perpetually broke, you're in prison. Jake, imagine stepping outside in America with $0 in your pocket. What can you do other than walk to the park? You can't buy nothing. Everything's for a price. You're not getting no food. You're not getting no drink. You're not getting in no car. You got to pay for gas. All you can do is look up and maybe walk to the park and walk back home. Don't use no electricity in your house. You're in prison. You're broke because you got to pay that bill. So Esau enslaves you and puts you in an economic, financial bind, prison. Verse 13, so what did the Lord tell you? Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awaken thy sleep. And Esau gets you in your sleep. So who is from Sirach 13, verse 6 down to verse 13? Who is that talking about? You got to know who your enemies are. The Lord is going to bring down Esau, man. Let's get another one. The Lord is going to bring down this man and bring down his strength to the earth, man. Because if it's not, we got to really sit back and think about it. If it's not for Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, who's gonna take this man out of power? Another set of Edomites, the Russians. Who's going to take this man out of power? The Lord himself has to do it, because this man's going to literally enslave the four corners of the earth, either through the dollar or he's going to kill you. Actually, go to Job 18. Man, it's Job 18 and verse 7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by his heel, the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side, man. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. It shall bring him to the king of terrors. Esau, everything he's doing, he's going to stand right before the Most High. He's going to stand right before the Lord in destruction. The king of terrors. Because what he's doing to these nations, what he's doing to the poor, is just straight up and down evil. The Lord is going to catch up with this man and bring him down. And the king of terror is going to handle him. Just keep throwing up prayers. Keep keeping the commandments. Keep speaking out against unrighteousness. And the Lord got us. With that, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, and bid a mighty strong shalom.